Welcome to TARTLEcast with your hosts Alexander McKegg and Jason Rigby, where humanity steps into the future and source data defines the path.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of TARTLEcast. Now that I'm looking directly at the camera, it's weird. I don't know how newscasters do it. When I talk about something, I like to have a conversation, and it's easier for me to talk to you.
Yeah.
I know looking at the camera, people probably appreciate it, but there's something else going
on.
Yeah.
It's just two people talking where you're just looking at a camera, but they're looking at a camera because the camera's small compared to the teleprompter.
Yeah, teleprompter's huge.
And then, the big news machine is just telling them what. They just have to get good at reading.
And they're far enough away so you can't really see their eyes track.
Yeah, all the propaganda that they're pumping out. Don't get me started on the news. These news corporations.
Listen to the TARTLE news.
Yes,
we filter through all
the TCast.
The TCast filters through all the BS you find around data and data news.
Yeah, if you want to know true data news, we're here.
If you need a fresh perspective on life.
But we do want to make a disclaimer right now. If we are not a doctor. Any medical advice we give.
We
ask you to please see your doctor.
I didn't go to school for any medical degree.
This is for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, this is entertainment purposes. Do not serve us any sort of lawsuit. Listen, all we're doing is thinking about things logically.
Yes.
We're being rational. And we're trying to unify and increase the longevity of life.
Yeah, we're not saying, how can we have clickbait data?
Yeah, that's not what it is. It's like, we just want to talk about something with value.
Mm-hmm.
Is that so bad?
No.
Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're professionals in delivering things of real value.
Real value.
So
speaking of real value
or fake value,
so there's a list compiled by Stacker of 15 ways personal data is revealed by social media companies. So I kind of wanted us to walk through this list. First of all, they talk about there's personal data just for the taking.
Is this going to upset me?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Social media companies. I think let's clarify this. Whether you're Facebook, which Facebook owns Instagram, there's this big WhatsApp thing, which they're going in a good way on that, and we'll have an update on that. What I've been reading on that.
A lot of backlash.
Yeah, exactly. So of course they're going to be like, well, we want users on the platform. Whether you're Snapchat.
When people say users?
Yeah.
All I think of is heroin.
Yeah, well, that's what it is, yeah.
All the time. Yeah. When you join TARTLE, you're a person.
Yes.
You're not a user.
You're not a user, yeah.
We don't want users. We don't want addiction. We want people using a tool when they want to use it. Okay? No users, only people.
I love that. And so whenever we look at these social media companies, whoever they may be, and there's a ton of them out there, and there's new ones being created all the time. TikTok now is blown up, whatever it may be. There's personal data that's just for the taking. Like in the sense of whenever you sign up, the first thing you're doing when you sign up on any type of platform is you're giving something away.
Yeah, the very first thing that happens when you hit their web URL is you give them your IP address. So that's saying what internet router is the device going through. And then they have this thing called a fingerprint. And a fingerprint is something that sits inside your web browser. Tells you what the device is, how big the screen is, processing chip. It'll tell you what operating system it might be. All these different things are in there. So now we have an IP address, MAC address, all the internal stuff, components that are happening with this phone or tablet or whatever it might be. So now we have the first major part of the profile.
A city and state.
Yeah, where it's
country,
coming from.
Yeah.
So after we have that, now we have location and a device. Now we can trace that. Mm-hmm. That's the first free data. Before you even sign up on an account, that's the first thing that hits a server.
Yeah. And so that's the personal data that's just for the taking.
That's
free for them, and here we go.
By the way,
right off the bat.
You can use Firefox.
Right.
You can use Brave. And you can use a VPN, a virtual private network, so that you can block your IP, right, your real IP, and you can alter your fingerprint. So, for us like human beings, you're stuck with one fingerprint. Well, digitally, you can change it with your web browser so they're unsure. So you can actually confuse the algorithms.
That's cool.
I would suggest that.
Yeah, suggest that. So second one is what gets you engaged sells.
Yeah. They have this new AI system that came out And what it does is it knows your color preferences. So it'll take like a Powerade ad, and it will retune all the background colors specifically for you. It knows exactly where to hit you in that sweet spot. It knows, it's looking at the clothing you buy, those color palettes, all this other stuff, how you respond to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't want to paint, a newborn child's room red.
Right.
Right? You need soft, gentle, caressing, unifying, loving, harmonizing
Well,
colors.
I mean, it's just as simple for me. I love dark mode. So, like everything that every website, I always click, they have that button. TARTLE needs that, by the way. They have that button where you can choose whether you want it to have like just this bright white or you want it to have just all black.
Well, they know that there's a change in contrast now.
Right.
Now at nighttime, they can deliver you ads of a different color contrast.
Mm-hmm.
You're only helping them out by putting on dark mode.
Yeah.
You just removed, like 25% of their problems in advertising by saying, I want dark mode.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. Like on Twitter, it's all black,
Yeah.
It just looks a lot better than that bright white is like, whoa.
Well, we have it because our new system, our bright white, now that you say that, we have a lot of art.
We shine bright like a diamond.
We shine bright like a diamond. When the new iteration of TARTLE is like walking into an art gallery.
Yeah, it's
That's how I would describe that. So go ahead. What's the next one? That's fine.
What gets you engaged sales? Coming from a marketing side.
We just did that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Keep going.
No, but I want to talk about this one real quick before we move on. So coming from a marketing side, a lot of people aren't realizing how much data they're collecting to be able to market to you specifically. And we talk about how machine learning is doing a poor job in certain things, and we had a whole episode on that. Don't need to get into that. But you don't realize the amount of information these social media sites are collecting from you, because they're not a social media site. They're an advertising agency.
That's all it is.
They make all their money off of ads.
They said,
and they have the social media aspect to try to keep you on, Snapchat, for instance, when I went to their headquarters, had that meeting, their whole idea is to say, right when you open Snapchat, your camera's on first thing. So we're a camera app.
Yep.
That's what they say. So their virtual reality, which I got some really cool stuff. You can go to the France Museum and the Louvre and walk in there, and then they have this virtual reality thing where it brings things alive and then gives you information and stuff like
here
that.
in New Mexico has got a whole new place in Albuquerque that is it's all that virtual reality.
Mm-hmm.
You can sit and have a meal, and as you're moving your fork, it's changing the table dynamically.
Yeah, see, that's cool.
It's cool.
Yeah. That's super cool. So these companies, these social media companies are advertising companies. So when we realize that and we're on this platform and they're hitting us, like Facebook has gotten it seems like every 4th or 5th post is an ad.
We've just become used to seeing ads.
Yeah. So whenever you're clicking, and I find myself clicking on ads because sometimes they're really good at it. The machine hits me.
They're like, wow, we nailed that guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would nail you right now if they said, if an ad showed 60% off Patagonia,
I'm there.
You may click it.
And I'm going to say, guess what? I'll take the 6% off and I'll also give you 20% back because I care about what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. So number 3 is giving them attitude data.
Yeah, your attitude. So likes, if you go on LinkedIn, you can clap, applaud, curious, thumbs up, thumbs down. It's giving them how you feel about things now.
Mm-hmm.
Just in a button, it's just pressing it. Or if you
our time watched on video.
I don't know how many people go to, large gas stations on the side of major interstates. If you go into the bathroom, it has like these buttons. How was your experience? Was the bathroom clean? It's got 3 smiley faces.
Mm-hmm.
They're collecting all that stuff, and so that they can analyze it. You just gave it to them for free. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. So.
By the way, you also bought a Snickers on the way out, and you gave them $45 for gas.
Yeah. So they know all that.
Yeah. Good job.
So, and then they can average it out to how many people, what's the average? Because they lose money on the gas side of things. They make all their money on the convenience store
It's all on
side.
The convenience. That's why they go nuts on building out the convenience.
Yeah, and then having the right shelves to hit you like there's some candy.
No, petroleum's a scam, okay?
Yeah, we don't want to get into that. So attitude data, when we think of attitude data and we think of like clicking the like button, and this is a problem that Facebook has had some heat when it comes to politics, because what it's basically doing. But I want to take the heat off of Facebook, and I want to say this. Because there was a comedian,
so much focus on them.
Ariel Shafir was his name, and he's been kind of controversial, but it was really interesting. So he opened up a YouTube account, and all he did was like happy puppy videos. That's all he did. So you know what the machine learning algorithm did.
It
Every
gave
time he
gave
opened
a
it,
Trump ad.
it didn't give him any of that.
Oh, nice.
It gave him all dog stuff, dog food ads, puppies, and then every time he opened it, but he wanted to show that it's our responsibility. We're liking this, and I'm going to use this word shit.
Yeah.
And we're this divisive stuff, and we're saying we're doubling down, whether it's a Trump ad or a Biden ad or whatever it is.
You wonder
we're
why
telling the machine learning, the machine's just reacting off of what you like and then serving you more.
Polarize me, polarize me, polarize me, polarize me. That's all you're doing when you're hitting the like button.
So it's and not to get too philosophical, but
that's what it boils down to.
This attitude data is showing what type of person you are.
Yeah. In an observational sense, if I'm going to sit here on the outside and just observe you throughout your day, Jason, I'm going to be like, not a good guy.
Yeah.
Or that seems like a half decent person.
Yeah.
But I never had a conversation with you. I don't really know. What was your thought process? It seems like it's a good way to define people, but it's not very truthful.
No.
Just because they're pressing the like button, like whatever. Some people like stuff just because to support their friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe
Netflix is I think Netflix is a good indication, like how their machine learning served you up. Like you watched these 10 documentaries, so to serve you up another documentary that just came out. You know what I mean?
I'm cool with that.
But
that's basic. That's not polarizing me.
Right.
It's just like, yeah, I've been watching documentaries. Maybe that's what I want to binge on right now.
Mm-hmm.
The other day I didn't realize this. I had Netflix on Disney Plus. I was watching that WandaVision. With Vision.
Everybody says it's horrible.
No, it's not. I think it was just a little above their head when they started. I think Disney got way too creative for a second, and people are like, gross. You know what I mean? They didn't get it. People don't like black and white stuff anymore in a 4:3 aspect ratio. So after I'd watched the first episode, I think it just assumed I was going to binge, skipped all the credits, bam, the next one started immediately. It's just like preloaded, skipped all this. I didn't have to do the thing that says skip intro.
Yeah, you're right,
it just immediately skipped it for me.
So they're taking it. Well, why do they need to click that button? They don't need to click that button.
Yeah,
he automatically binge watches other shows. So why can't we just assume
that's precisely the point
that he's going to binge watch?
Here's the thing: is I wasn't binging anything. Amanda was.
Yes.
She's watching other stuff.
Right.
But their algorithm's like, must be the same person. Skip. I like the intro. I like the music.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the artwork.
No, there was a show I was watching, and I watch the intro every time because it's so creative. I don't remember what the show was, but I know I like intros too, especially if they're done well.
Well, you know who had a great intro? Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Because as the actual storyline developed, so did the initial map.
Yes.
The intro was dynamic with it.
Yes. So James Bond movies are that way too.
Oh, you always want to skip the intro. Initial Bond intro.
No.
It's got the cool music.
It's got all the artwork. It's got like ink gloss.
You know when you go into an art museum and they have the good exhibit way in the back, but they have all these, not the top artists, but good artists?
Right.
You channel through that first. What if you just hit a button and you just transport right over to that?
Yeah, it kind of ruins the moment of anticipation and all that.
Yeah.
So attitude data, we have to realize that. Take 100% responsibility for that. Behavioral, that's kind of the same thing. Behavioral data easily collected.
Yeah. Behavior is just, again, it's just like, well, what are they doing over it? What are their patterns? That's all the behaviors are. Show me the pattern. But it doesn't give you the why to the pattern. I don't know how many times we have to say this. Just because you're tracking behaviors, you don't know why those behaviors are occurring. Just because I bought, say for instance,
Nike shoes.
Okay. I have never been into a Champs. I walked by it and I saw this on the wall. It caught my eye.
Yeah.
It was the first time I walked into a Champs. Now they're dishing me up Nike stuff. But this is not my behavior. My behavior, it's almost like erratic. I never go in here, but they're like, oh, there's a change in his behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
Can we double down on this change? Will it be worth it to us?
Yeah. All they know is that I was in the Champs and I bought the shoe at a specific price. They have no idea in my brain what caused me to actually change my motor function, turn sideways, and go inside that store. They have no clue. They're just assuming because I bought the shoe, that's why I wanted to be in there. Why did I need the shoe?
Right.
I wear my shoes down so there's like holes in the thing. I don't like consuming more than I have
to. But if they served you bright colored, latest greatest Nikes,
I don't need 30 pairs of them.
Right.
Jason. Right?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, and I have some that just sit there, so it's silly. So behavioral data, and I want to get into this behavioral when we look at behaviors, because this is a behavior is different than attitude.
If you're a good psychiatrist and you are trying to help someone with some sort of psychiatric issue, trying to solve it, it's not just you solving it for them. There has to be a partnership between the person that has this mental illness and yourself. I can't just sit here from the outside and just look at all the behaviors. I need to actually speak with that individual and ask them their input and the why to that behavior, so we can get down to the root of it, so we can help solve whatever the dis-ease is in their mental capacity. Does that make sense?
But, we know as well as I do, thoughts control behavior. So whenever we're looking at, as we're consuming.
I'm sorry, are we at Topgolf? Are you teeing me up?
Yes, it's happening right now. Can you feel it? Huh?
I can feel it. You set the tee real high, and I got a big old driver here.
Yeah, so whenever we're looking at our thoughts, and those thoughts control our behavior, and then we're online, these companies are, and this machine learning, this algorithm is not looking at it and saying, Alex, we know you've been divorced right now, and so you downloaded this dating app but they did that all it knows is that you're on a dating app. Mm-hmm. It doesn't know that you're depressed or that you're feeling the best you've ever felt in your whole life. It knows you went to a gym. There's so much on our behavior. There's such a it's like when we looked at those decentralized team maps, and it's just like everywhere. It looks like all these little it's so complex. Our behavior is so complex because it's based off of our thoughts.
But their algorithms look at us as we're so linear.
Yes, we're not.
Like we're this inflexible, creature. That's a joke. It's a joke. Don't put me in a bucket I don't belong in unless I tell you I belong in that bucket.
No buckets. And at tartle.co, how do we bucket people?
Oh, wait a minute. We don't. You bucket yourself.
Yes.
You say, these are the assets that I want to build up that define who I am, not a company deciding for me. And then I can share that to them, and then they can properly put me in the right bucket.
When you want to share it, or if you don't want to share it, you don't
your
have
control,
to.
your time, and your decision of how much. That sounds like a nice win. In a broad statement, we've always seen that if you're using something for free online, you're paying for it somehow else. When you use Tartle, we're not taking anything from you.
Nope.
So in that broad sweeping statement, don't put us into that bucket.
No.
Is that fair?
Yeah, we're not. We're in no bucket.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to TartleCast with your hosts Alexander McKegg and Jason Rigby, where humanity steps into the future and source data defines the path. What's your data worth?